Yeah, but the drama continues. The Eagles have made some additions to that receiver room. They brought in Hollywood Brown, Elijah Moore. Last week, they traded a couple of picks to the Packers for Wicks, who will join, obviously, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. So, SCHEfter, everybody's been asking this. Is there anything to read into this here with these wideout additions as it concerns A.J. Brown?
And I think it's fair to wonder every time the Eagles add another wide receiver if they're just filling out that draft room in the event that they do have to move on from A.J. Brown. I think that obviously the Eagles still are open to dealing A.J. Brown. We'll see ultimately if they're able to get a deal done. Most people obviously know that the New England Patriots would be the team to watch here. I don't think we're going to see anything before the draft. I think this is a conversation and a topic that will wait until June 1st, and we'll see how it plays out. But again, every time Philadelphia adds another receiver, Hollywood Brown, Elijah Moore, and now last week trading for Wicks from the Green Bay Packers and extending his contract by 1 year, it's fair to wonder if we've seen the last of A.J. Brown in Philadelphia.
The other thing that has caught my attention this offseason, SCHEfter, is that every chance the Eagles have had to shut down the possibility of trading A.J. Brown, they haven't gotten there. They have not fully gotten there. It's been a different tone and tenor than we have seen from Howie Roseman and other players in the past. They have stopped short of saying, no, he will be a Philadelphia Eagle next year. And you mentioned the New England Patriots as a team to keep an eye on. Mike Vrabel did the sort of the reciprocal thing at the owners' meeting. He did not close the door on acquiring a player like A.J. Brown. I think pick 23 and the subsequent selections the Eagles make throughout the upcoming draft will definitely foretell something of a story here. Now, it's worth noting that it doesn't have to be pick number 23 that would make me feel like A.J. Brown is no longer going to be a Philadelphia Eagle. But it might be, it is the deepest position in the entire draft, SCHEfter. The wide receivers. I've got 42 guys with a draftable grade this year that play wide receiver alone. So Philly could easily find players on day 2 that could help them potentially offset the eventual departure of A.J. Brown.
And Phil, how many times have we seen a player whose future is in question? His future is raised to an opposing head coach, and the opposing head coach says, yeah, we can't talk about him.
The A.J. Brown drama in Philadelphia is not going away. If anything, it's getting louder. Adam Schefter just dropped some major information on NFL Live, and I need to break down every single word because this changes everything about how we view the Eagles offseason. Let me start with the facts. The Eagles have been busy adding wide receivers. They brought in Hollywood Brown. They brought in Elijah Moore. And last week, they traded a couple of picks to the Green Bay Packers for Wicks, and then they extended his contract by 1 year. So now the Eagles' receiver room has A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Hollywood Brown, Elijah Moore, and Wicks. That's 5 wide receivers who expect to play. That's not normal. That's not depth. That's preparation. Schefter said something that should make every Eagles fan nervous. He said, every time the Eagles add another wide receiver, it's fair to wonder if they're just filling out that room in the event that they do have to move on from A.J. Brown. Let me repeat that. In the event that they have to move on. Not if they want to. If they have to. Schefter then went further. He said, the Eagles still are open to dealing A.J. Brown. Open. Not closed. Not shutting it down. Open. Now here's the part that really got my attention. Schefter pointed out that every chance the Eagles have had to shut down the possibility of trading A.J. Brown, they haven't gotten there. They have not fully shut it down. And he said the tone and tenor from H. Howie Roseman has been different than what we've seen with other players in the past. Think about that. When the Eagles have had star players in the past, Howie has always said, he's our guy. He's not going anywhere. With A.J. Brown, silence. Avoidance. Non-answers. That tells you everything you need to know. So who is the team to watch? Schefter named the New England Patriots. And this is where it gets really interesting. Mike Vrabel, the Patriots head coach, was asked about A.J. Brown at the owners' meeting. And what did he do? He did not close the door. He did not say, "We can't talk about him because he's under contract." No. He went out of his way to praise A.J. Brown. He talked about their relationship. He talked about what a great player he is. It almost sounded like he was recruiting him. Schefter said, "It was as if everybody is waiting for those two sides to get together at some point." The Patriots have picked number 23 in the first round. They have cap space. They have a need for a number 1 wide receiver to help whoever their quarterback is. A.J. Brown fits perfectly. Now let me give you some context on why this makes sense for the Eagles. The 2026 wide receiver draft class is historically deep. Schefter said he has 42 wide receivers with draftable grades this year. 42. That's insane. So the Eagles feel like they can easily find players on day 2 of the draft who could help them offset the eventual departure of A.J. Brown. They don't need to use pick 23 on a receiver. They can find value in the 2nd or 3rd round. And with Howie Roseman, you know he's always thinking 3 moves ahead. He traded for A.J. Brown on draft night in 2022. That deal laid the foundation for 2 Super Bowl runs and 1 title. Now, he might be preparing to trade him away. Let me give you my take on this situation. The Eagles are a smart organization. They don't let emotions drive decisions. A.J. Brown is 29 years old. He's going into the final years of his prime. He's had some injuries. He's had some sideline blow-ups. He's a phenomenal player, but the Eagles know they can't pay everybody. They already have Devonta Smith on a big deal. They have Jalen Hurts on a massive contract. They have a defense that needs to be paid. Something has to give. And if the Patriots are willing to offer a first-round pick plus more for A.J. Brown, Howie Roseman is going to listen. But here's the other side. The Eagles are trying to win a Super Bowl right now. This year. Trading away your number 1 wide receiver in the middle of a championship window is risky. Even with all the depth they've added, none of those guys are A.J. Brown. Hollywood Brown is good. Elijah Moore is solid. Dontavian Wicks has potential. But A.J. Brown is a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL when healthy. You don't just replace that. So where does this leave us? Schefter said not to expect anything before the draft. He thinks this is a conversation that will wait until June 1st. Why June 1st? Because that's the salary cap accounting gets easier for trades. After June 1st, the Eagles can spread out the dead money from A.J. Brown's contract over 2 years instead of taking it all at once. So if a trade happens, it happens after the draft. That means the Eagles will go through the draft, add their rookies, and then decide if they're moving on from A.J. Brown. Alright, let me wrap this up with some questions for you. And I want you to destroy the comments. 1. Do the Eagles trade A.J. Brown before the season starts, yes or no? 2. If they do, what's the trade package, a first-round pick from the Patriots? More. 3. Is Howie Roseman making a mistake by even considering this, or is he just being smart about the future? 4. Which team would be the best fit for A.J. Brown, the Patriots, the Chiefs, or someone else? Drop your takes. The best ones I read next video. Smash like if you think A.J. Brown stays in Philly. Hit subscribe if you believe he's getting traded to New England. And comment your prediction for where A.J. Brown is playing in September. Let's go.